Hello students, welcome to our channel. Microbiology is the study of tiny life forms, and today we starting with the basics, understanding two major types of microbes. On one side, we have acellular entities, viruses. They are host dependent, meaning they can't do anything on their own. On the other side, we have cellular life, bacteria, which are independent living organisms. Throughout this comparison, we look at their nature, size, structure, reproduction, and metabolism. This is volume 1 of our comparison series. Let's get into the key differences and why they matter. Viruses are tiny acellular particles that act as parasites. They strictly require a living host cell to replicate. Think of them as hijackers. They need to take over another cell's machinery to make copies of themselves. Bacteria are complex, single-celled living organisms known as prokaryotes capable of independent survival and reproduction. They are complete cells with all the tools needed to live and multiply on their own. Distinguishing between them is critical for accurate diagnosis, prevention, and effective treatment plans. This is especially important because antibiotics kill bacteria but do not work on viruses. Viral infections require antivirals or vaccines. Below, you'll see a simple illustration. A virus is just genetic material inside a protein coat, while a bacterium has a complex cell structure with organelles. Let's break down their structures. Viruses are acellular. They lack basic cell machinery. No cytoplasm, no ribosomes. Without these, they can't carry out any life processes by themselves. Their structure is simple, genetic material encased in a protein capsid and sometimes surrounded by an envelope. Because they are inert outside a host, they are like dormant instruction manuals waiting to be activated. In contrast, bacteria are cellular, specifically prokaryotic. They are complex living units. They contain cytoplasm and ribosomes for protein synthesis. They have a defined boundary, a rigid cell wall made of peptidoglycan plus a plasma membrane. Most importantly, they are self-sufficient. They can replicate and metabolize independently, just like any other living cell. Now, let's visualize their size difference. The scale of microbes shows us that bacteria typically range from 0.2 to 2 micrometers in size. Viruses are much smaller, ranging from 20 to 300 nanometers. In fact, a typical bacterium is about 10 to 100 times larger than a virus. This size difference is why we need different tools to see them. Bacteria can often be seen with a light microscope, but viruses require an electron microscope. Looking at viral structure, they have a capsid, which is a protein shell that protects the genome. Some also have an envelope, a lipid outer layer stolen from a host cell. They come in shapes like icosahedral, helical, or complex. Bacterial structure includes a sturdy cell wall made of peptidoglycan and organelles like ribosomes, flagella for movement, and pili for attachment. Their common shapes are cocci, spheres, and bacilli, rods. Their genetic material is fundamentally different. Viruses have a highly diverse genome. It can be DNA or RNA, and it can be single or double-stranded. This variability, especially in RNA viruses, leads to high mutation rates, allowing them to adapt rapidly. Their genomes are compact, often linear or segmented, and they rely entirely on the host cellular machinery to read their genes. Bacteria, however, have stable DNA. Their core genome is a single, circular chromosome of double-stranded DNA. They also contain extra tools called plasmids, which are small DNA rings that can carry traits like antibiotic resistance. Inside the bacterial cell, transcription and translation, the processes of reading genes and making proteins, are efficiently coupled in the cytoplasm. Their methods of reproduction highlight a key divide. Viruses are host-dependent. They are obligate intracellular parasites, meaning they must hijack a host cell to replicate. They follow either a lytic cycle, destroying the host cell immediately, or a lysogenic cycle, integrating their DNA and waiting. They often exit by causing the cell to burst, a process called lysis, or by budding off from the cell membrane. Inside the host, viral parts are synthesized and assembled separately, like a factory using stolen blueprints. Bacteria reproduce independently through binary fission. This is asexual reproduction, where one cell splits into two identical daughter cells. Under ideal conditions, they can multiply rapidly, exhibiting exponential growth. Bacteria can also exchange genetic material through processes like conjugation, transformation, or transduction, which helps them share beneficial traits like antibiotic resistance. Finally, let's compare their metabolic capabilities. Viruses are metabolically inert. They produce zero energy on their own. They have no mitochondria or enzymes to generate ATP, the cell's energy currency. Their parasitic nature means they must hijack the host's metabolic pathways to synthesize everything they need. Their replication is entirely passive, depending on the host's metabolic state. Bacteria, in contrast, have active metabolism. They are self-powered, generating energy through processes like respiration or fermentation. They build their own proteins and DNA using their own enzymes. This independence is a double-edged sword, however, as their specific metabolic pathways are common targets for antibiotics designed to stop them. Let's bring it all together with a head-to-head summary. The table compares key features side by side. For nature, viruses are acellular with no cytoplasm or organelles. Bacteria are cellular with a full prokaryotic cell structure. For size, viruses are 20 to 360 nanometers submicroscopic. Bacteria are 0.2 to 2 micrometers visible under a light microscope. The remaining features, genome, reproduction, and metabolism, follow the same comparative pattern as shown in the table. This table clearly outlines why they are treated differently. The key takeaway is printed at the bottom. Antibiotics create bacteria, not viruses. Remembering this is crucial for effective healthcare. The key takeaway is simple: viruses and bacteria have different structures and therefore require different treatments. Antibiotics don't work on viruses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for learning with us. We hope this comparison has helped clarify these fascinating microscopic worlds. Keep asking questions and exploring. Every bit of knowledge helps us understand the life all around us, even the parts we can't see.